Yo, yo, yo. Hey, yo, what's good to all my heroes and villains out there? You know who it is. It's your boy LC. Guys, welcome to another episode of Heroes and Villains Collectibles. And yo, you might hear my voice. I'm a little sick, man. I was sick all day. Went to work this morning. I even had to leave work early because I just couldn't, man. My voice, my throat was all messed up. I know I'm on some medicine, so hopefully it'll all work out. But yo, check it out, man. Before we get started, if it's the first time checking me out, make sure you guys go ahead, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell, and let you know when I got all types of videos, unboxings, toy hunts, Lego builds, all that good stuff, man, dropping your way. All right, so before we get started, man, we got some good news. Yo, this is gonna be a good show today because I'm actually looking forward to a few things. But before we get started, let me make sure my audio is good. I bet audio is good. Yo, check it out. So first thing I wanted to do, which was literally out of like left field, I wanted to do a quick unboxing. Like about an hour ago, I had like a knock on the door, and you guys already seen the thumbnail. You know what I mean? So I wanted to go ahead and open up a hot toy that just came in. You know I only buy Marvel, so we got a Marvel hot toy that just dropped. So, and I gave you guys a little hint. You can see it from Deadpool and Wolverine. But who is it? Is it Deadpool? Is it Wolverine? Is it any of the other characters? So we're about to go ahead and check that out. Also, check that out. About actually like last week, everybody knows, and if you don't know, about a year ago, when it comes to She-Hulk, she supposedly got fired, or you know, they had asked her to come back or quit. They had asked her to come back for to Marvel, and she said no. She was supposed to be in Deadpool and Wolverine, and then something happened where I guess she didn't like whatever the hell was going on, so they cut her out of the movie. But we got some new news that just dropped today when it comes to She-Hulk. And actually last week I heard that supposedly Tatiana Maslany, which is the original actress that plays She-Hulk, originally she was going to be recast because supposedly for the next Avengers movie, She-Hulk plays a big part of it. So it's like, you know what, we're not going to go ahead and just kick out the whole character, you know what I mean? Take out the whole character. We're just going to go ahead and recast, which is what I say. You know what I mean? They should have been did that with Chadwick Boseman on day one, and Black Panther 2 would have been an even better movie, right? But all right, we're not going to talk about that. Then, so I got an article from Screen Rant that just dropped today talking about the future of She-Hulk. Then after that, guys, we got some news, a video that I wanted to check out for those of you guys that didn't know. Because you guys know I'm always talking about Avengers Doomsday, Avengers Secret Wars, you know, which unfortunately we're not going to get the trailers for on Super Bowl. But there is a little bit of spoiler news that has dropped. So I'm going to go ahead and play that video as well. And then the last video that we want to go ahead and react to that I'm actually excited for. Once again, you guys know I'm those that know me, a huge Resident Evil fan. So we got about a good Resident Evil timeline, all the way from Resident Evil 0. Like I've played every Resident Evil game. So we have a timeline from Resident Evil 0 all the way up to Resident Evil 8 to lead us to Resident Evil 9. So that's going to be a good timeline video. I'm really looking forward to checking that one out. But yo, without further ado, make sure you guys go ahead, smash that like button, and let's get started. I want to just because it's going to be a quick one, it's not going to be the official unboxing. Let's go ahead. We got it right here. You know what I mean? We're going to see what just came in. This just came in about an hour ago. Right? I was getting things ready for the show, and then this came in. I'm like, yo, you know what? Let me go ahead and add it in there so we can go ahead and knock it out. So let's go ahead and see what just came in. I still got 3 hot toys that I still have to officially unbox. Iron Man Mark V, the Doctor Doom, and the last one that came in like about a week or two ago was Andrew Garfield's The Amazing Spider-Man. I still got to open those up. But let's add another one to the collection. Comment down below, guys. Let me know if you guys also collect Hot Toys or statues or figures. I mean, yo, let me know what you guys collect down below. I'm excited for this one. Slowly but surely, all of my Hot Toys, like I said, I had a good amount of a list. So slowly but surely, everything is coming in. Like I said, last week or 2 weeks ago was the Spider-Man that just came in. Today we got this one that just came in. So yes, I'm really happy about it. Let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, yeah. Let me see. It's gonna be the front of it. There's the back of it. Okay. There's the front. Okay. Check it out. Boom. We have Deadpool in the house. I'm excited for this one. I'm still waiting on my... I'll be honest, I didn't even know if this was either going to be Deadpool or Wolverine. I'm still waiting on my Wolverine, obviously. But we have Deadpool in the house. The cool thing with Deadpool is, like, and don't get it twisted, I'm also waiting on, but it's on back order for Lady Deadpool and Kid Pool. Like, I want to have the whole Deadpool family. I don't know about Nice Pool. I didn't pre-order Nice Pool. I don't think I'm gonna get Nice Pool. You know what I mean? But definitely Kid Pool and Lady Pool. But what's awesome? Look at that. What's awesome about this Deadpool is that, yo, he comes with Baby Pool. So at some point I'm gonna do an official unboxing, but let me go ahead and just give you guys a little teaser. I want to see it too. Look at that. You guys can't really see it because of the glare. Let me move my mic. Look at Baby Pool right there. Nice. And this is the special edition Deadpool. You guys can see he has the gold guns. I'm trying to do it like this because of the glare. Oh, and I forgot we got Headpool. So we got Deadpool, Headpool, and Baby Pool. So I just need Kid Pool and I need Lady Pool. And I got the whole family. And I also have, like, one of my first Hot Toys that I ever got is Zombie Deadpool. I actually have Zombie Deadpool right in the detail right there. If you guys want to see what Zombie Deadpool looks like, go check out the, actually just yesterday I did a short on just some of the Hot Toys. It's been a while since I've done any shorts. So just yesterday I did a short on Zombie Deadpool. So go to the short and you'll be able to see exactly what Zombie Deadpool looks like. So now I have an official regular Deadpool, an official baby Deadpool, and the crazy thing is that the Zombie Deadpool I got comes with Zombie Squirrel Pool and Zombie Head Pool. So it's completely different from this Head Pool right here. Obviously this Head Pool is from the movie, but this is kind of like a zombie as well. Technically, this is also a zombie Head Pool as well. What up, Walter? So yes, I am really, really happy about this one. And you guys know I had to order the Wolverine, but still waiting on that one. I think the next one that's coming in, to be honest, I think the next one that's coming in is going to be the Scarlet Witch, which is the dope ass figure because she has like her whole aura with the dark hole. That's going to be a good one. I think the next one that's coming in is Scarlet Witch. Then after Scarlet Witch is the Spider-Man, I want to say Tom Holland's Iron Spider. So the Iron Spider-Man is the one that's coming after that one. Then I want to say after that one is the either the anti-Venom Spider-Man, which is the Spider-Man with the white Venom suit, or the Flash Thompson when he's Agent Venom. So that either Agent Venom or Anti-Venom. So, but first is Scarlet Witch next, then Iron Spider-Man, then I want to say either Anti-Venom, yeah, Anti-Venom, and then Agent Venom. Yeah, I think that's the order that they're coming in. But yeah, guys, there you have it. Yeah, yeah, man. These hot toys ain't no joke. You're literally looking at like about 300 and up, and it's not even like at 299. You're literally looking at like about three and some change and up. You know, so yeah. I think this one was, if I'm not mistaken, I think this one was three. I want to say like 320. I want to say. I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you right now, because yeah, they're not. You're not gonna find any at 300 exact. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna find it at 300 exact. But this one here was 315. 315, but that's without taxes and without shipping. Everything total. You know what? We're total shipping and everything 359. So 359.95. So 360. 360 for this Deadpool right here. So yeah, they're not cheap. And then that Andrew Garfield Spider-Man that I got right there was 392, so almost 400. I still gotta do the unboxing for that one. Then the Doctor Doom that came in that I still have to do the unboxing for. The Doctor Doom, that Doctor Doom was 337. Now this is with taxes and shipping included. You know what I mean? So yeah, you're looking at over $300 for the figures. And even that Iron Man Mark V. Let me see. That Iron Man Mark V that I still have to open up. That one was okay. That one was cheaper. That one was $274.66. So $275 for this one here, which I still have to open up. So I guess this would be the cheapest one right here. So I still gotta pop this baby open. But yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4 hot toys that I gotta go ahead and open up. So be on the lookout for that, guys. There's gonna be official unboxings that I have to do. You guys can see right here I have the construction version of the Mark III right there lit up. That's a hot toy right there. And then next to him is Tony Stark. If you guys can see Tony Stark right there, just a little bit. Right there, just floating. That's Tony Stark right there. So, yeah. So, and the reason I got them there on that shelf is because the background, it doesn't fit in the DTOF. So some of them are not gonna fit. The Doctor Doom is not gonna fit in the DTOF. That Spider-Man is not gonna fit in the DTOF. Deadpool will fit in the DTOF. Iron Man will fit in the DTOF. So, you know, yeah, but some of them are just are taller than others because of the base that they come with. You know what I mean? But yeah, slowly but surely, the collection is growing. All right. So, let's see what I said. Now, before we get started on the next stuff, whatchamacallit. So we got the hot toy that. Make sure you guys be on the lookout for that one. Okay. So, with all that down. Let me go ahead and check the chat real quick before we continue on the She-Hulk news. They do good collector value? Yeah. They keep the value. They actually go higher because once it's discontinued, that's it. Like you can't find them no more unless you go like to eBay, and then at eBay you're gonna pay like five, six, $700. So the value goes up. Um, I can sit on it and sell it more than you paid. Yeah, damn. So you got over a G and three hot toys alone. They're dope. Yeah, yeah. Just in three alone. Yeah, that's it. And I have a total of 15 hot toys total. So I got 15 hot toys. So 15 is my lucky number too. You know what I mean? That's my lucky number. I was born November 15. So 15 is my lucky number. So I got 15 hot toys as of today with the Deadpool. So I'm happy about that. Alright? So that down. Let's go ahead and continue, yo. Um whatchamacallit. Let's see here. We have some news, awesome news. I'm gonna be honest, awesome news because I did not mind She-Hulk. You know what I mean? Obviously the She-Hulk show could have been a lot better, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? Now she's gonna be in the hands of the Russo brothers, so I'm sure they're gonna do She-Hulk. No, they're gonna no justice. You know what I mean? I'm sure she's gonna be a badass. So check it out. Tatiana Maslany addresses She-Hulk return rumors in Avengers Doomsday after firing reports. Now, I believe she'll be in Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. They're just not saying Secret Wars here, but she's gonna be in both. You know what I mean? Supposedly they have big parts for She-Hulk. That's why they almost like, if this ain't true, they're gonna recast her because they have a big part for She-Hulk. So they're like, listen, if you ain't coming back, if you're gonna be bullshitting, we're gonna get somebody else for the role. So, you know. But okay, let's see here what's going on, what they're talking about. It's been nearly 4 years since She-Hulk joined the Marvel Cinematic Universe in her own TV show as Jennifer Walters became one of the many new heroes to appear in the multiverse saga. With only a few upcoming Marvel movies in Phase 6, the Marvel heroine has yet to appear on the big screen. In a new interview with Entertainment Tonight, Tatiana Maslany was asked if it's true that she had passed on the opportunity to return as She-Hulk in Avengers Doomsday. However, the MCU star played coy, saying, "You'll never know. I don't know. Do you know?" Now, I remember this interview, and in the interview, she said, "Yeah, I told them no." Like, I actually seen the interview when this happened last year. She's like, "Yeah, I told them no. I didn't want to be in it." Like, she said, I was done with Marvel and Disney. You know what I mean? Because of that, to be honest, it was because of that whole Jimmy Kimmel shit. When they let go of Jimmy Kimmel, that whole Jimmy Kimmel thing that happened, she was one of the ones to speak up and talk a bunch of shit about Disney and Marvel, you know? So, her latest response about Avengers Doomsday came shortly after comments she made on the Comedy Bang Bang podcast, where she poked fun at the rumors that she had declined Disney's offer to appear as She-Hulk in Deadpool and Wolverine. She stated, "Nope, Disney has approached me to play She-Hulk again. Guys, I said no because I just did. This is the fact." Now, supposedly she was um cast to be in Deadpool and Wolverine, but I guess something happened, and I think it was Ryan Reynolds that said, "Nope, I didn't want her in the movie," and they just cut her completely from the movie. You know what I mean? She continued making fun of the inaccurate repost, sharing how they're out there. You can read the articles about it. I was really mad at them for kicking me out of Deadpool and Wolverine. You see? I was just mad. I'm woke. And that's the thing, because she's all woke. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody trying to make no woke movie. You know, you go woke, everybody knows you go broke. It's woke feminism stuff. I was like, how dare you cast a woman in this role? Maslany concluded the mockery by saying, "That's disgusting. I'm embarrassed to even be here. They really, they really wanted me to be in Doomsday Avenger style or whatever. I turned them down. I'm confirming it here." That's what she said on the interview. I remember her saying that. The Avengers Doomsday cast will do additional photography this spring before the Russo brothers and the stars reunite in Avengers Secret Wars, which will start rolling the cameras this summer. So this summer they're gonna start filming Avengers Secret Wars, which will start this summer. Okay. As of right now, Marvel Studios hasn't confirmed whether She-Hulk is in the Phase 6 finale. So all I know is that see, Marvel Studios Avengers Doomsday opens December 18th. So this she's not lying when she says that. I did see the interview. In the interview, she was talking shit, saying, "Oh yeah, I told them no because of what happened in Deadpool and Wolverine. I guess I don't know what the hell happened. That I guess it was Ryan Reynolds that said nope, that he didn't want her in the movie while she was in the movie. So I guess they had to reshoot some stuff so it didn't seem like she was in the movie. Which I'm not gonna lie to you, man, that would have been dope. Having She-Hulk together with Deadpool, I mean, they both break the fourth wall. You know, so that would have been a good interaction with them. I'm not gonna front. I'm not gonna front. But yeah. And like I said, last week I did read something that they were gonna recast She-Hulk and get another actress. I believe it was. I don't watch Star Wars, but there's a character in Star Wars, right? I don't know which one is it. Ahsoka, is it? That that there's a character in that show that she's green and she got like horns coming like all the way to the back of her head or something like that. So that chick that plays that green character, that chick, they last week I had read that she was gonna be cast as the new She-Hulk. I guess it's because man, we love how she looks when she, how she looks green. So, but then I guess they came back to Miss Lani and said, "Listen, if you don't play this role again, we're not taking the character out of the movie. You're just gonna be recast." So I guess this time she decided to play ball and be like, "Yo, you know what? Fuck it, I'll be in the movie." You know. So, but yeah, guys, that's it. I'll be honest. I'm hoping that these rumors are true. I'm hoping that she really is in the movie. I mean, She-Hulk is playing a big role in Doomsday. I'm guessing also she's gonna be playing a big role in Secret Wars because last year or the year before, there was some artwork that came out and it showed She-Hulk with the Hulk and his son Scar, um, at like some kind of medieval times village, with a bunch of other Hulks around them. You know what I mean? So that was like some photos that had dropped like last year or the year before. So She-Hulk does have a big role. So we are gonna see She-Hulk with the Hulk and his son Scar. That we seen for those of you guys that did see the She-Hulk series on the last episode of She-Hulk. Hulk comes to the barbecue with his son Scar. You know what I mean? So yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm hoping that these rumors are true. Comment below. Let me know you guys' thoughts. What you guys thought about the She-Hulk show. I thought it was alright. You know what I mean? I didn't hate it. I did do a watch party on Steam. Not Steam, on Twitch for the She-Hulk episodes. You know what I mean? So I mean I didn't hate it. But it could have been a lot better. You know? But comment below, guys. Let me know your thoughts regarding She-Hulk and this news. Do you guys want She-Hulk to come back? Do you want her to be recast? Do you rather have Tatiana Maslany come back? You know what I mean? I mean, she was already She-Hulk. So it's like, let's not break the canon. But at the same time, Marvel's like, yo, we got plans for this character. We're just going to recast. So comment below, guys. Let me know your thoughts regarding this news. All right? So, that being said, guys, with all that down, let's go ahead and check out another video here that I wanted to go ahead and play for you guys. Now, those of you guys don't know, but where's my mouse at? Of course, my mouse is going to die. Let me go ahead and plug my mouse in. All right. Okay, so those of you guys that don't know, I watch a lot of movie news, read a lot of movie articles, and one of my favorite YouTubers that I do watch is John Campia. He's also a news pundit when it comes to the movies. So yesterday he did a show, right? Now I'm not gonna play the entire clip. We're just gonna play until until whatever it's important. But I want to give you guys some news. So it's already been said. If you guys seen the end of the Fantastic Four, the end credit scene, you guys see that there's a Fantastic Four ship coming in to the 616 universe. The scene is you got the new Avengers, which is the Thunderbolts. They're looking at their monitor and they see a ship that's coming in through the atmosphere, right? And on that ship, as the ship is coming in, it turns and you can see the number 4 for Fantastic Four. So a lot of people at the time were speculating, yo, what the hell, who's on that ship? Obviously it's going to be the Fantastic Four. Then people were saying, yo, nah, at the end of it, Dr. Doom stole Franklin Richards, which is the baby. So the Fantastic Four are on that ship coming here to, these are just one of the theories that was out there. It's just a Fantastic Four, they're on there. And they're coming here to our Earth because Dr. Doom came here with their kid. Then another theory was no, it's only Dr. Doom. He stole their ship. He's coming over here. Another theory was it's the Fantastic Four with Dr. Doom. You know what I mean? They're coming here to the 616 because their universe got destroyed. Then, like about 2 weeks ago, another theory was, it's the Fantastic Four with Dr. Doom and Thor and Captain America. I'm like, Thor and Captain America? How the hell? Like, Thor and Captain America, they're already here. You know what I mean? In our universe. Technically, yeah. Thor is here and now. Captain America is in the past. But it's like, we didn't understand that, right? So then, come to find out, news is that that it is on that ship. It was confirmed that on that ship is the Fantastic Four with Dr. Doom and Captain America Steve Rogers. You know what I mean? And I'm like, what the hell? How can that be possible? Supposedly, theories out there, John is not going to talk about this part, but supposedly the theory is that when Captain America, Steve Rogers, at the end of Endgame, went to the past to stay with Peggy Carter, okay? That Loki appeared to him and said, listen, by you being here on the 616, that he was still in our universe, by you being here, you're causing an incursion. You're not supposed to be here. You're not supposed to have a baby. You know what I mean? So that supposedly Loki offered him to leave. He said, I'm going to take you and your family to another Earth, to another universe where you guys don't exist. So that's the theory that's going on out there. That Loki came, picked up Captain America because by him staying in the past was causing an incursion, scooped up Captain America, Peggy Carter, their baby, and said, I'm going to put you in a place where you guys don't exist. That way, there is no incursion. So come to find out, the place that he put them in was the 818 universe that the Fantastic Four live in. So when we're watching the Fantastic Four movie, you also have Captain America there with Peggy Carter and their kid. You know what I mean? So that's how the Fantastic Four are with Dr. Doom and Captain America coming to our universe, because remember, the Avengers, and nobody's going to trust them unless they're with Captain America. The minute they see Steve Rogers, they're gonna be like, oh snap. So then they're gonna believe what's happening because Steve Rogers is literally right there. Now, there's no word on if Thor is with them. That part they haven't mentioned. But all I know is that we have the Fantastic Four on that ship at the end. Fantastic Four, Doctor Doom, and Captain America, and it has been confirmed. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and play this video here by John Campea, which apparently knows everything that's happening in the movie, because either he read the script or he was told by people, but him and Robert Meyer Burnett, which is also on here, they know everything that's happening in the movie from beginning all the way to the end. So he's been keeping it tight-lipped until now, because he says a lot of people are talking about it. Things have been leaking, so he's like, yo, I might as well tell you guys because people are already talking about it. So let's go ahead and hear it from him, only because he is one of the only ones that knows what happens in Avengers Doomsday from beginning to the end. Okay, so let's go ahead and check that out right now.
And, you know, as we jump into this, right off the bat, I'm going to have Jonathan put up the old spoiler warning. Just for in case. Now, you guys know that some time ago, we were talking about Avengers Doomsday. And the fact that
we've done that.
Yeah, that a couple of us in this room know almost everything that happens in the movie. And I also said a couple of weeks ago that, listen, I've been getting contacted by more and more people who seem to now know what's going on. And I said on the show, I think by July, everything's going to be out there, because all these people are finding things out. Now, there's a lot of stuff being reported out there that is totally wrong. Some stuff being reported that is right. But, you know, Rob and I were talking before the show started today. That pace of the leaking has turned into a gush. And I said to Rob this morning, I said, remember how I said I think everything's going to be out there by the end of July? I said, I honestly now think everything's going to be out there by the end of March. Yeah. I really do.
Well, now because you've got all the effects houses working on things.
Yeah. There's just so many now points of release. And I got to admit, and Rob, I texted you a little bit about this earlier this morning. It brings up a philosophical quandary.
Yeah.
Which is, look, if I didn't know what was happening in Doomsday, then I would be picking up on all these topics out there, rumors and reports, and we would be talking about them. Just like all the other outlets now are talking about them. But I felt awkward about talking about them because we do know what happens. You know, I've had some people say, you know, I hate it when you rub it into us, so you know what happens. We don't do that. We bring up, we know what happens when people ask questions about Doomsday, because we need to be transparent and full disclosure so that there's no, we're not deceiving, right, and we're being above board to make sure you guys know exactly from what position we're speaking of. It's just to have transparency. It's not to rub anything in. We don't bring it up until people ask about Doomsday, and then we say, okay, well, just so you know, of course, we do know what happens in Doomsday. That's for being full disclosure. So I've struggled a lot. I know Rob's has too. We've struggled with, when is it okay to talk about something and when is it not? Considering everybody else out there seems to be talking. Now, when it comes to this new particular thing, there's a report going around about at the end of Thunderbolts, when they look up at the screen and they see the Fantastic Four ship, that there are two other characters on that ship other than the Fantastic Four.
No.
Oh, yeah. And it's not just guys like Daniel RPK who have now put it out. A friend of the show, Jeff Snyder, has put it out. You look around at things like this. Superhero Hype has headlines on it. Comic book movies now have headlines on it. On and on and on. I found a whole ton of major outlets, not major outlets as in the Hollywood Reporter, but a lot of the big fan-based outlets were all talking about it. And, you know, Rob, I was so conflicted about this. I even jumped on the YouTube channel this morning and I asked our readers, guys, listen, at what point when a piece of information about the movie is really now getting out there, is it okay for us to talk about? And I got a lot of great feedback and a lot of great input from our viewers. And this one is so out there now everywhere that I figured this is an instance when we can kind of chime in a little bit and say this. So with the spoiler warning up there that Jonathan has, the rumor and the report going around, that is on all these outlets, Daniel RPK, Jeff Snyder, all these guys are putting this out there. The rumor is that on this Fantastic Four ship that we see at the end of Thunderbolts coming to Earth, that along with the Fantastic Four on that ship are two other individuals. Those individuals, so to say all the reports, are Steve Rogers and Dr. Doom.
That's cool.
That's the report. So, at this point, yeah, it is. Everybody, it's out there. Everybody's talking about it. It's now public. So at this point, I'll just say, yeah, it is. Now, there's a lot of stuff out there. Don't be misled into thinking that because this one's real and all the outlets are carrying it, that means everything you've read online is real. Oh, it's not. There's still a lot of nonsense floating around out there. And I'll also say this. Even within the reports about Steve Rogers and Doom being on the ship, there's a bunch of other things about how they're on the ship and why they're on their ship. Totally wrong. At least some of them about why Steve and Doom are on that ship and how they came about to be on that ship. There's some stuff out there that is totally off base. I'm just going to say that. But as everybody else is reporting, yes, they're there. Now, again, I want to reemphasize, there is a lot of other stuff being reported out there about things that are happening in Doomsday that are just not true at all. And I think over the next few weeks, because I was telling Rob, I got contacted last night by somebody said, "Hey, John, is it true that blank, blank, blank?" And I was like, there's no way anybody else, like, that's a major thing that happens in Doomsday. Now, even that's getting out. I stand by it. I think by the end of March, everything about this movie is going to be out there. And you know what? It doesn't matter. I know everything that happens in Doomsday, and I can't wait to see this movie. Like, it just made me more excited. So that might happen with everybody else as well. So anyway, there it is. It's out there. Rob, I think this is it's about more than just the story about certain details now coming out about Doomsday, but it raises a really interesting question for us as fandom, for us as people who do content in our fan circles, about how fast this information is getting out. You pointed out a little bit earlier that, hey, now it's in the post-production phase. That literally means now thousands of more people are working
around
on
the world.
Around the world are in the know now, and every single one of those people represents a point of failure that it can spread to 100,000
But they're
other
also,
people.
they've signed NDAs, and all that.
Yeah, but there's so many people that know it now. It's so hard to track. Anyway, how fast do you think all this information is getting out there? Is this just a part of the new reality of filmmaking that you're just going to have to accept this happens? I don't know. What's your take on this overall?
I mean, it's such a weird thing because one of my most eagerly awaited movies of the year is Project Hail Mary.
And there we have it, guys. There we have it. It was confirmed. John Campea, like I said, these two guys know everything that happens in Doomsday from the beginning all the way to the end. They've been saying this now for like the past, since it's been a few weeks now. They've been saying it. Oh, we know what happens. We know what happens. And everything is wrong. Every time everything was wrong, the rumors you hear, everything is wrong. This is literally the first time they come out and they say something about the movie that's right. Now, what bugs me is that I believe them, because a lot of the rumors was that, Steve Rogers by staying in the past, destroys Doctor Doom's universe. Doctor Doom is looking for Steve Rogers to kill Steve Rogers. And when he goes to see Steve Rogers, Loki's going to come in and take Steve Rogers to the TVA right before Doctor Doom can kill him and explain what's going on. That was one of the rumors. But the thing with that now is that how can that be if you have Steve Rogers, Captain America together with Doctor Doom? Like, at this point, they're working together. You know what I mean? So if they're working together, I mean, then again, obviously you cannot trust Doctor Doom. You know, he has an agenda. You know, he could obviously just be using everybody, including Steve Rogers, you know. But the fact of them saying, you know, Doom is looking to kill Steve Rogers because of what he did to his family, you know what I mean? So that was one of the rumors out there. There was going to be a fight in the house. Loki was going to show up in the nick of time to get Steve out of there. I guess that's not what's going to happen, because if they're traveling together, I'm guessing then they go to Steve Rogers' house, Dr. Doom, and explains to him, I guess, listen, you're causing an incursion. Our universes are going to die. Your universe is going to die if you don't come with me right now. And, you know, let's talk to your friends. And, you know, let's get everybody together to explain what's going on. So, obviously, like John said, there's a lot of things out there that's going around that's not true. So, I'm beginning to think that that's not true. You know what I mean? Dr. Doom doesn't show up to kill Steve Rogers. Dr. Doom shows up to, in other words, recruit Steve Rogers. You know, like, yo, we need your help. Especially if, like one of the rumors is, Loki shows up, takes Steve Rogers out of his house. He's like, listen, by you staying here in the past in 616, you're causing an incursion. So let me take you and your family to another universe where you guys do not exist. And there you can live out your life. You know what I mean? So he takes them to the universe of the Fantastic Four. That's why it's easy for the Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom to find Steve Rogers. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Yo, there's a lot that's going through my head, yo. There's a lot that is like, yo, there's a lot. It's like, okay, then, so how the hell did we get Old Man Steve Rogers in the 616? Like, you know, there's I don't know. There's a lot that obviously we don't know about this movie. But what we do know for sure is that on the Fantastic Four ship at the end of the Thunderbolts, we got the Fantastic Four, we got Doctor Doom, and we have Captain America coming to our universe, to our Earth, to let us know what the hell is going on. So, shouts out to John Campea. Yo, guys, make sure to subscribe to the John Campea show. Yo, that's one of my favorite shows that I be watching. I get a lot of my 411 movie news from him, as well as other YouTubers and other articles that I be reading. But yeah, guys, yo, comment below. Let me know you guys' thoughts on this huge spoiler news. Alright? So, yeah, I want to know your thoughts. Because, yo, if we're not going to get Doomsday trailer at the Super Bowl, I mean, give me some little nuggets. You know, let me know something about the movie, you know? So, that down, guys. Yo, comment below. Let me know you guys' thoughts, okay? So, yeah. Okay, so, one of the last things, guys, I'm actually excited about this one. One of the last things that I want to show you guys is going to be the timeline. Guys, for those of you guys that know, or those of you guys that don't know, I'm a huge Resident Evil fan. We got Resident Evil 9 Requiem dropping on February 27, which is Resident Evil Part 9. Okay, so I figure, I still haven't seen this. I'm excited to see this because I played all of the Resident Evil games. So I'm excited to see. This is going to be the Resident Evil recap, especially for those of you guys that's never played Resident Evil games. This is going to be a Resident Evil recap, the complete timeline, okay, before we get to Resident Evil 9, which is Resident Evil Requiem. So it's going to be from the beginning all the way to Resident Evil 8. I don't know if they're gonna start it from, doing that whole timeline, keeping it canon. Maybe I don't know if they're gonna start from Resident Evil 0. I used to play Resident Evil 0. I remember I bought that game for Nintendo GameCube. So Resident Evil 0 all the way to Resident Evil 8. So we can get ready for Resident Evil 9. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and check that out. Comment below, guys. Smash that like button. Let's go ahead and get right into it.
Nice. The 9th entry in the mainline Resident Evil series is fast approaching. But if you're looking to jump in for the first time, you might be left wondering what the hell is going on.
Where's everyone going? Bingo?
Here is a very condensed synopsis of the main Resident Evil story and everything you need to know leading into Resident Evil Requiem. Warning, the following contains spoilers.
Resident Evil 0.
July 23rd, 1998, Raccoon City Police STARS Bravo team is dispatched to investigate murders in the Arclay Mountains, but crashes before they can reach. Survivor Rebecca Chambers makes her way towards a spooky-looking mansion nearby to find the rest of Bravo team. Before she can arrive, Rebecca, along with her newly acquired convict companion Billy Cohen, arrive at an abandoned training facility, discovering that its former director, Dr. James Marcus, along with former partner Oswald E. Spencer, was responsible for a new biological weapon dubbed the T-Virus, a deadly infection that turns humans into zombies and other monstrosities.
Resident Evil.
STARS Alpha Team is dispatched to find out what happened to Bravo Team. The search leads STARS members Jill Valentine, Chris Redfield, Barry Burton, and team leader Albert Wesker to the Spencer Mansion. The gang splits up and discovers the horrible fates of fallen STARS members due to the T-Virus outbreak, and Chris finds Bravo team member Rebecca Chambers still alive.
You?
Chris Redfield, Alpha Team. We're here to rescue you.
Jill and Chris eventually discover that the Umbrella Corporation, a pharmaceutical company with shady business practices, was behind illegal experiments that resulted in the horrors roaming the mansion's halls. Eventually, once they reach the sinister laboratory, our survivors discover that Wesker, their team leader, is actually a traitor and works for Umbrella in some capacity. Wesker infects himself with a strain of the T-Virus for some elaborate plan that involves releasing a new superweapon, the Tyrant, that swiftly kills him. After managing to defeat the monster, the remaining STARS team escape the facility. Our survivors return to Raccoon City and begin to learn that the corruption runs deep. They decide to go rogue and investigate a grand corporate conspiracy. Chris heads off to Europe solo, and Jill stays in the city to learn more about Umbrella.
Resident Evil 3.
In September 1998, Raccoon City became overrun with zombies. Umbrella sees this outbreak as an opportunity to test its latest bioweapon, sending down the experimental Nemesis, a hulking beast with a rocket launcher that's tasked only with the death of all STARS members.
Rocket launcher? Really?
While Jill desperately tries to escape the outbreak with Nemesis hot on her heels, rookie RPD officer Leon S. Kennedy and Chris Redfield's younger sister Claire Redfield both arrive in Raccoon City at the worst possible time.
Resident Evil 2.
After being separated following a car accident, Leon and Claire agree to meet up at the nearby police department. Unfortunately, the building is also infested with zombies.
Oh god. Oh god.
On her quest to find her brother Chris, Claire runs into Sherry Birkin, a young girl being pursued by a monstrous weirdo who turns out to not only be her dad, but also Umbrella's leading scientist William Birkin.
You gotta be kidding me.
Turns out Billy B had planned to betray Umbrella and sell his newly developed G-Virus, but before he had the chance, he was gunned down by Umbrella. Before dying, William managed to infect himself with the G-Virus, allowing it to spread into Raccoon City through the water system, creating the enormous mess all our characters are now dealing with. Nice one, Willie. Meanwhile, Leon runs into Ada Wong, an FBI agent who's seeking the G-Virus for herself to prove Umbrella's corruption. They decide to form an alliance, for now.
Thank you.
Leon and Ada run into Birkin's wife Annette, who is not a big fan of the pair.
You'll never get the G-Virus!
Leon and Ada follow her to a secret Umbrella underground facility called Nest in pursuit of the G-Virus sample.
I wonder where the G-Virus is.
Claire also arrives at Nest in search of a vaccine for a now infected Sherry. Leon manages to obtain the G-Virus sample but runs into William, who, in his freakish form, mortally wounds his wife. Annette reveals to Leon that Ada is not what she seems, and is actually a mercenary who's looking to sell the G-Virus to the highest bidder.
She's gonna sell it.
Ada demands the G-Virus, but before Leon can hand it over, Annette manages to shoot Ada, who then falls to her death, dropping the G-Virus sample in the process. Claire finds the vaccine and gives it to Annette to cure her daughter, while she tangles with an out-of-control William. Sherry is cured, but Annette eventually dies of her injuries. The facility is set to self-destruct, and Claire, Sherry, and Leon board a train to escape.
Shit! Gotta get out of here.
With Nest destroyed, the crew finally manages to escape the nightmare, and on the outskirts of Raccoon City, vow to continue their fight against Umbrella.
So, is it over?
I don't know. But if it's not, we'll stop it. Whatever it takes.
Yeah, you're damn right we will.
Resident Evil Outbreak.
While Jill, Leon, and Claire are dealing with their own issues amidst a zombie outbreak, 8 other Raccoon City residents are also in a desperate fight for survival. Most notably, local journalist Alyssa Ashcroft, an investigative reporter trying to spotlight Umbrella's evil ways. Alyssa manages to escape Raccoon City before its government-issued annihilation, carrying information that could expose Umbrella once and for all.
Resident Evil 3.
Elsewhere in Raccoon City, Jill Valentine is infected with the T-Virus. Fortunately, Carlos Oliveira, a merc who, despite being hired by Umbrella, is on the scene to not only cure Jill, but also help her find an important vaccine.
Come on. This shit better work.
At this point, our heroes discover the unfortunate news that the US government plans to wipe out Raccoon City with a missile strike, hoping to eradicate the infection. Carlos and Jill head to another underground lab, this time creatively called Nest 2. Unfortunately, Nemesis is still alive and very much in pursuit. Jill and Carlos manage to take out the abomination once and for all, and with the vaccine sample in hand, escape the city before the missile strike. Unfortunately, Nikolai, Carlos's former colleague / secret operative, is waiting and manages to destroy the vaccine vial. Jill and Carlos take down Nikolai, leaving him for dead, and escape just before the missile arrives to completely floor Raccoon City for good.
Resident Evil.
3 months after escaping from Raccoon City, Claire Redfield, in search of her brother Chris, attempts to raid a European Umbrella facility before being captured. Claire is taken to an island prison commanded by Alfred Ashford, the governor of Rockfort Island. An outbreak occurs, of course, and after being freed, Claire gets to work looking for Chris and escaping the island. There's no sign of Chris, so after much trouble, Claire escapes on a plane. Ashford, who it turns out has a split personality disorder and often believes himself to be his twin sister Alexia, takes control of the plane remotely and crashes it into another Umbrella facility, this time in Antarctica. It's also worth noting that during the crash, Claire spends a period unconscious here, during which she has a dream that turns out to be the plot of Resident Evil Survivor 2. Weird. Alfred, believing Claire to be a spy, also escapes Rockfort in a quest for revenge, and after he's fatally wounded, frees his actual sister Alexia, the person he previously believed or wished himself to be, who was cryogenically frozen and riddled with a new virus called T. Veronica. Meanwhile, back on Rockfort Island, wouldn't you know it, Chris has shown up looking for Claire. Instead, he runs into his old pal / mortal enemy Albert Wesker.
Long time no see, Chris.
Wesker?
Who's still alive, super strong, and on a mission to find the T. Veronica sample. Turns out his plan was to be killed by the Tyrant so he could reach his full potential of some experimental virus he had or something like that. They both make their way to Antarctica, and Chris finally reunites with Claire, who then defeats a now very powerful Alexia before escaping as the facility, you guessed it, self-destructs.
Chris!
Hey, you know that I always keep my promises.
Oh, and Chris and Claire vow to take down Umbrella. You seeing a pattern here?
There's still something we've got to do.
You mean...
Yeah, it's payback time. We've got to destroy Umbrella. Now.
Let's finish this once and for all. Resident Evil 4.
6 years have now passed, and Umbrella is now long gone due to a government suspension and a stock value crash. Basically, the lamest way possible for a big bad to go out. Leon Kennedy, the once rookie RPD officer, is now a government agent who's sent on a mission to rescue the president's daughter Ashley from her kidnappers in rural Spain. Leon discovers that not only are her kidnappers a cult called Los Illuminados, but they're also infected by a brand new mind-controlling parasite called Las Plagas. During the rescue, Leon coincidentally bumps into an old flame, Ada Wong.
You can stop right there, Leon. Wouldn't make me use this, would you?
Who turns out to not be dead and is once again on the hunt for a virus. After rescuing Ashley, Leon confronts the cult's leader, Sadler, and, with the help of Ada, they defeat him.
You renegade.
Bringing down the parasite and all the hordes he infected.
I'll give you a holy body.
Ada, once again showing her true colours, takes the Las Plagas sample and escapes by helicopter. But not before, setting the base to self-destruct.
I don't understand. Why would she just...
Gotta move. Island's gonna blow.
It's gonna what?
Yeah.
Leon and Ashley manage to escape very dramatically on a jet ski and appear to ride it all the way back from Spain to the US. I mean, they probably just went back to the mainland and took a more traditional route, but imagining they jet skied across the Atlantic is funnier. So let's say they did that.
Resident Evil Revelations.
Shortly after the events of Resident Evil 4, we're finally reunited with our original protagonists, Chris Redfield and Jill Valentine, who are now involved in a new investigation into bioorganic weapons, which results in them discovering a new strain of the T-virus called T-Abyss, a weapon that the latest new evil organization Veltro plans to use, infecting 1/5 of the world's oceans. Ultimately, there's a lot of betrayal and evil plots here, with names and organisations that mostly don't feature in the wider series, except for one, the BSAA, short for the Bioterrorism Security Assessment Alliance. Chris and Jill are founding members, and this new organisation's motives become the driving force for these characters going forward. Naturally, Chris and Jill survive the events of Revelations, taking us directly into the next chapter of Resident Evil.
Resident Evil 5.
2 years after Resident Evil 4, our original bad Wesker is still on the loose. Chris and Jill, now under the banner of the BSAA, follow a lead towards Umbrella's founder Oswald E. Spencer, but instead run into Albert Wesker, who has killed Spencer. Wesker, seemingly even more powerful than before and now dodging bullets for fun, is more than a match for Chris and Jill. To save Chris's life, Jill sacrifices herself, sending both her and Wesker to their deaths. Chris, understandably, is a bit sad.
Jill! Resident Evil 5.
Almost 3 years after Jill's death, Chris is tasked with apprehending terrorist Ricardo Irving, who is selling bioorganic weapons in Africa.
Wow, perceptive, aren't ya?
Along with his new partner Sheva, Chris discovers that the locals are infected by a modified Las Plagas parasite. Chris is also informed by the BSAA that Jill could still be alive. After defeating a mutated Irving, Chris and Sheva learn that Tricell, the company that funds the BSAA, had taken over Umbrella's CD work in conjunction with a, would you believe it, still alive Wesker, who's been conducting human experiments.
Wesker, you are alive.
Unfortunately, one of his victims is Jill, who is also still alive and now under Wesker's control. Chris and Sheva manage to subdue Jill and remove the mind control device before it's too late. Wesker tries to flee on a bomber, which crash lands into, of all places, a volcano. After some brief boulder punching, Chris and Sheva finally kill Wesker once and for all. And all is well in the world, for now.
Locked and loaded.
Suck on this, Wesker.
Your time's up, you son of a bitch.
Resident Evil Revelations 2.
Claire Redfield, younger sister of Chris and now a member of TerraSave, an anti-bio-terror company, once again finds herself trapped on an island with her new partner, Moira Burton, daughter of Barry Burton. Remember him? He's the Jill sandwich guy.
He would have fit nicely into a sandwich.
This island, an abandoned prison, isn't a nice place to be. While being stalked by mysterious monsters are directed around this labyrinth by someone known as the Overseer.
Who the f*** is quoting poetry?
Are you afraid?
After all the typical Resident Evil hijinks involving other survivors, shady corporations and betrayal, it's revealed that the Overseer is called Alex Wesker. Although she does share a surname though, she's not actually a relative of the infamous villain. Stay tuned for that later. But rather a kidnapped child who was snatched for her talents and inducted into the Wesker Project, a sinister plot developed by Oswald E. Spencer to try and develop a race of superior beings using the T-Phobos virus. Another virus, blimey.
I have to destroy you!
Alex has been doing her own experiments on the prison island, injecting a virus into her victims and creating a fresh batch of monstrosities. Eventually, Claire and Moira corner Alex, and now, with nowhere left to run, Alex commits suicide. But not before, say it with me, setting the base to self-destruct.
Self-destruct sequence of the facility's upper spire will begin immediately.
Claire manages to escape, but unfortunately Moira is trapped under rubble. Enter Big Daddy Barry.
Moira.
6 months pass before Barry reaches the island, desperately chasing Moira's SOS signal. But before finding his daughter, he runs into a still alive but mutated Alex Wesker.
It's not enough to live. I want to transcend.
After more survival horror hijinks, Barry eventually comes face to face with Alex, who's now heavily mutated into a final glowing orange target covered form. Fortunately, both a still alive Moira and a returning Claire Redfield with a rocket launcher arrive to swing the odds in Barry's favour. In the epilogue, Claire receives a message about her brother Chris Redfield and his jaunt to China to handle another bioterror threat.
Yeah, well, tell Piers to look after him.
Right, next up is Resident Evil 6, which features not one, but 3 interwoven campaigns, and it all gets very messy. Deep breath. Let's just get through this.
Resident Evil 6.
In 2012, a new virus surfaced from a company dubbed Neo Umbrella, led by someone who appears to be Ada Wong. Series newcomer Jake Muller is believed to be the key to the vaccine, due to his antibodies. The reason Jake is immune is, well, because unlike Alex Wesker, he's actually Wesker's child.
So, you're Wesker Jr.
Wesker? You lost me.
In 2013, the American president decides that enough is enough with all these bioterror incidents, and it's time to spill the beans about what really happened in Raccoon City. However, before he can, there's another infection attack, and the president, now a zombie, has to be taken down by his loyal agent and series favourite, Leon Kennedy. Ada Wong then arrives and tells Leon that National Security Advisor Derek Simmons is affiliated with Neo Umbrella, and behind the terror attack that zombified the Prez. Leon heads to China in pursuit of Simmons. Chris Redfield, now racked with post-traumatic stress and a thirst for revenge after his team was slaughtered by Ada, also heads to China, as does Jake, because, you know, plot.
Hell yeah!
Right, there's a lot going on here, so let's do this bit really quickly. Chris finds out Jake's true identity, and despite an awkward moment when Chris tells Jake he's killed his dad, they mostly work it out. Simmons dies, Chris's mate Piers is wounded, and then grows a new arm with the C virus and saves Chris. Jake kills his boss, who's not worth talking about, and we also find out that there are 2 Adas, one being an imposter called Carla, and that explains all the outfit changes, and finally all the good guys win and go their separate ways. Basically, a lot is going on, and it's not very good, so maybe just ignore this bit.
President would have done the same.
Resident Evil 7.
In 2017, Ethan Winters is searching for his missing wife Mia, eventually following the trail deep into Louisiana, where he finds her imprisoned by a very odd and very disgusting family, the Bakers.
Welcome to the family, son.
Ethan is attacked and captured by Jack Baker, and then forced to join in with a vomit-inducing family dinner with his wife Marguerite, son Lucas, and an elderly woman. It turns out this family has been infected by something called mold, some sort of parasitic fungal virus that has the added benefit of resilience but the downside of making you a bit gross. After escaping and managing to kill hideous forms of Jack and Marguerite, Ethan reunites with his wife and develops a serum to help shake off her apparent mold infection. After trying to flee on a boat, the vessel is capsized by a mysterious creature that turns out to be a girl named Evelyn, a bioweapon that Mia, who it turns out is a secret agent, was tasked with escorting. Turns out Evelyn was responsible for the Baker family's mind-altering infection, because she was desperate for her own family. You know, like all bioweapons are, classic stuff.
Listen, the girl just wants a family of her own.
Side note, you can also find a note from Alyssa Ashcroft in Resident Evil 7. Remember her from Resident Evil Outbreak? Turns out she's still a jobbing journo who's investigating the disappearances in Louisiana. After injecting Evelyn with a toxin, she reverts to her true form as the old woman at the baker's disgusting dinner. Turns out that she's been rapidly aging. Evelyn mutates into a giant blob like all classic Resident Evil bosses, and after a final confrontation with Ethan, with a little help from a recently arrived military squad, she's finally destroyed. In a final twist, the leader of the military squad is revealed to be none other than a very different looking Chris Redfield, emerging from a helicopter that's branded Umbrella.
Resident Evil 7.
After Ethan escapes, Chris and his team pursue Lucas Baker, who it turns out was never actually under Evelyn's mind control due to a serum provided to him by a new shadowy organisation called The Connections. The Connections were behind Evelyn's creation, and they were using Lucas to gather more data on her. But he also planned to betray his masters anyway, you know, like every Resident Evil villain ever.
Lucas!
After finally working his way through a series of traps, Chris manages to kill a mutated Lucas and finally returns to base for an urgent call.
Game over.
Resident Evil.
Over 3 years later, Ethan and Mia's Eastern Europe-based family Bliss is violently interrupted by the Hound Wolf squad, led by returning and turtlenecked Chris Redfield, who now oddly looks like he did before Resident Evil 7 again. Weird. Chris and his goons shockingly and mercilessly gun down Mia and then kidnap Ethan and his child, Rosemary.
No! What? Why?
Ethan wakes to find himself stuck in a rural village and runs into terrified villagers who've been cowering from a horde of marauding Lycans. Ethan, on a desperate quest to find his missing daughter Rose, works his way through the abandoned village and into a nearby castle inhabited by vampires, most notably an enormous goth mummy called Lady Dimitrescu.
Oh, be careful what you wish for, Ethan Winters.
Lady D, along with a group of oddities, belong to a worshipping cult for Mother Miranda, a godlike, mold-infected leader, who, in a quest to bring her daughter back to life, ended up becoming consumed by the infection and spreading it to her 4 elevated lords and houses. In his journeys, Ethan discovers a crest for these 4 lords that looks eerily similar to Umbrella's logo. Hey, remember them? Ethan's journey to rescue Rose and take down Miranda's lords eventually leads him to Chris Redfield. Chris explains that the Mia he gunned down wasn't actually Mia at all, but rather a shape-shifting Mother Miranda, who considered Ethan and Mia's daughter Rose to be the Evelyn successor based on the fact that both her parents were infected by the mold.
She changed her appearance and pretended to be Mia. Seems she also survived being shot, so now I'm here to finish the job.
Rose was born with unique properties, and after Miranda finally confronted Ethan in her true form, she explained that the mold would help rebirth Rose as her daughter Eva. Miranda then, without hesitation, rips out Ethan's heart.
Miranda! You coward! Come out and face me!
Don't worry. Your death will come quick. You will join the Megamycetes records.
Chris and the Hound Wolf squad launch a full assault against Mother Miranda, battling through her waves of monsters and destroying a large mold barrier that's now protecting her. Once inside, Chris and the team discover a large mold root that's called the Megamycete. That turns out to be the source of the mold that's plagued the village, but also the Baker family in Resident Evil 7. Turns out, the Megamycete not only infects its victims, but it also absorbs their DNA and memories. Chris plants a detonation device, but before destroying the mold once and for all, decides to pass through Miranda's lab for one last lore dump. He discovers the entirety of Miranda's plan and her quest to find a suitable vessel for her daughter Ava's consciousness to be reborn into. Miranda was also responsible for the creation of Evelyn, working with the Connections. Later in the lab, Chris discovers the biggest shock of all, when it's revealed that Oswald E. Spencer, founder of Umbrella, was actually a student of Miranda and began work on the progenitor virus based on her teachings. To honour this, the Umbrella logo took inspiration from Miranda's Four Lords symbol that Ethan discovered earlier. Not only was Miranda responsible for everything in Resident Evil 7 and Village, but she was also the inspiration that started it all. After Chris finally works his way through the exposition hallway, he discovers the true and very much alive Mia, who reveals that Ethan also isn't quite dead yet. It's revealed that Miranda didn't kill Ethan, Jack Baker did, way back in the start of Resident Evil 7. Ethan was infected by mold, which had been keeping him moving this entire time, and explained how a man could regularly reattach body parts with just a bit of healing juice. Despite this, Ethan is falling apart, but can muster enough for one last stand with Mother Miranda, whereupon defeating the big bad once and for all, he manages to pass his daughter to Chris and take ownership of a detonation device that would destroy the village, the mold, and himself once and for all. Ethan triggers the explosion as Chris, Mia, and Rose escape.
Evil.
In 2037, a now much older Rose is learning about her abilities, one of which is the power to connect with a surviving piece of the mold root recovered from the incident 16 years prior. After jacking in, Rose enters a new realm, full of the memories from the victims the Megamycete had consumed. Rose then takes a jaunt through a version of the village, guided by a spirit called Michael, who ends up being Ethan's remaining consciousness. She's also taunted by the trapped consciousness of Mother Miranda, who is desperate to escape the realm. With the help of Ethan and her newfound abilities, Rose manages to defeat Mother Miranda and share one last moment with her father before she returns to the real world.
I love you, Rose. I love you too, Dad.
In the aftermath, Rose visits Ethan's grave while shadowed by a mysterious agent who calls her Evelyn. And after threatening him, Rose reveals that she has abilities that even Chris doesn't know about.
Oh, it's just a joke, Rose.
I can show you things even Chris doesn't know I can do.
We have a clear shot.
Stand down.
And that's it, the entire plot of Resident Evil that matters before you dive into Resident Evil Requiem. Yes, we skipped over some bits here or there, but there's a lot to cover in the wacky world of Resident Evil. Now, excuse me while I set my base to self-destruct and vow to get my revenge. And if you like that video, why not check out our final hands-on preview of Resident Evil Requiem. And for everything else Resi, stick with IGN.
Woo! Man. Yo, I ain't gonna lie, son. That was good. Yo, that brought me back. I ain't even gonna front. That make me want to play some more Resident Evil right now. You know what I mean? On Steam, I actually bought a bunch of them. I bought like part 2. Part 3 I had beaten. Like I played them all. But I also have, Steam had a deal on, yo, buy a bunch of Resident Evil games. I got the Revelations 1, Revelations 2, Resident Evil 2, 3, 4, 5. I was like, man, you know what I mean? So, yo, this, as I'm watching this, yo, they brought me back. Resident Evil Code Veronica was one of my favorite ones back in the days. Also, so it's like, yo, we got some good ones here. This literally brought me back, yo. Literally brought me back. But yo, I'm hyped. I'm hyped for Resident Evil 9. Can't wait. It comes out on the 27th of this month. So guys, best believe I'm gonna be playing that game. I'm gonna be streaming it. So make sure you guys are there so we can go ahead and go on an adventure and kill some zombies. You know what I'm saying? So there you have it. Yo, check it out, man. Check it out. This was dope. This was awesome. If you guys like what you're seeing, do me a solid. Subscribe to the channel. Ring that bell. Smash that like button. You know what I mean? It does help out the channel. And yo, just be on the lookout for when I'm gaming on that new Resident Evil 9. I'm hyped. This was real. I was like, yo, man. This is a good timeline. That's a good recap, especially for you guys that's never played the game. You know what I mean? For me, it just brought me back down to down the memory rabbit hole. You know what I mean? I'm like, damn, I remember that. So yeah, it's good. It's good. I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm hyped. So right around the corner, baby. Resident Evil 9, Resident Evil Recam. So there you have it, guys. There you have it. Yo, check it out once again. If you guys want to check out the Heroes and Villains collection, make sure to follow us on Heroes and Villains Collectibles on Instagram. Once again, if you guys like what you're seeing and if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, smash that like button, and yeah, guys, I'll go ahead and see you on the next one. Alright, so make sure to check out the other videos that I dropped. I did do the Resident Evil, the short story that they did. So yeah, I did the short story reaction. That was heartbreaking, yo. That was a heartbreaking video that they dropped. I was like, damn. But yeah, make sure to check out all the other videos that I dropped, guys. Okay, so with all that down, guys, this was dope. This was awesome. This has been another episode of Heroes and Villains Collectibles. I'm your boy, LC. Until next time, guys. Peace.